Welcome, Warriors, back with another great episode of Vigor Warriors 2, the 1% Club. And so, hope you guys are having a great day. I'm going to try to knock a couple of these out on my drive here. So, thank you once again for your comments and your feedback and subscriptions. I use all the stuff that I get as much as I can from comments you guys are making and from things that I talk about in class and especially my college classroom and things like that. And so my list is getting longer all the time. I end up taking a day off or something here and there because I have to. So I take Sundays off, not only to pray, but to kind of get my list in order of things that we're going to do for the following week. And I really enjoy doing this, so I hope you guys do too. And you guys listening to what we're doing. So today's topic is going to be a long life. So let's talk about this a little bit. Now, can I guarantee that you're going to have a long life? Of course not. I don't know what the predetermined time. I do think there's a predetermined time for all of us. I'm not sure what that is. But I'm going to take a different perspective on this long life. My perspective is not so much in years, because I know people who live a long, many, many years, and they're miserable. It's almost like a torture for them to live 80 some years. Other people, they live 35, 40 years, and they've had a great life. They've enjoyed it. They've had a lot of peace. They've had a lot of excitement, things like that, and they enjoy it. So I'm going to look at this as by saying is, how can you get the most quality years, prosperous years of your life, so that when you're finally coming to the end, you're going to go back and say, thank you. This is an unbelievable life that I've had. And so I am greatly grateful and appreciative of that. That's kind of what I want you to get to the point with. And the way to do that certainly is not only the 3 C's we're talking about in the C model, but also talking about your journey. Guys, I believe that the journey that I'm on, my purpose is to get to that enlightened area there, to understand what life is about and get away from all the things you're seeing here. I believe that our fight, as the Bible says, is not with, with material things you see, images around you. It's really between the spirits and the principalities behind the scenes. And I believe that this whole purpose of life is to weaken us. I think SH and a few other people have mentioned this as well. You have to be careful because the world itself is different than the spiritual world, in my opinion. And that's why there's always this battle going on. The real world, they want to weaken people, I believe. I think the real world wants to weaken people. And so all these things are put out there for temptation, whether it's gambling, whether it's fornication, whatever it may be, to try to weaken people. Because people do become weak. They become tempted. They become addicted to things. And now they're under control. And it all goes back to a level of control. And so when we look at this, living a long, prosperous life means that you have no more controls. You're free to do what you want to do. And guys, this starts, and ladies, this starts with the whole idea of retaining your seed. Retaining who you are, especially for the males I'm talking about. You retaining what you have. If you're able to retain your energy, you're able now to have some level of control. Remember, if you can create a child, this is very powerful things. This nutrients you have in you are going to help you. They can only help you. And I've noticed this now being on hard mode where I'm not even trying to think about it. Every time I think about it, I try to transmute it and move it away. And it's not easy. Guys, I think I'm on number 8 or 9 days again of hard mode. And I'm moving to a different direction but I have noticed such a huge difference in hard mode that all of a sudden your whole life now is looking at things differently. I look at more appreciation of the trees that I see, of the houses, of the people, of the cars. They give me a whole different vantage point because I'm not looking at things through lust or any sort of other types of objectivity that these things mean nothing. And so I can appreciate what God has given us a lot more because I have more control, and my focus is not trying to get another girl, or my focus is not looking at a girl, or having any kind of image in my mind, those type of things. So the thing is, guys, you have to kind of focus on what is the main goal you have. And the main goal that I think that most of us should be having is trying to get to a higher level. And my 1% club we're talking about, this is really what we're talking about. The 1% of people who are really trying to get to the enlightened stage, in which you're going to then be helping the other 99% get there. Because 99% of people don't see this. They don't understand this. They will listen to the media. They'll listen to people around them because there's no internal voice, or I call it God, inside of you that really is telling you what the real truth is. And it takes time in some cases to see this. But the bottom line you have is that you're going to live a lot longer life and prosperous life if you're able to understand this art of self-control. And self-control starts with controlling your sexual energy. And once you're able to control your sexual energy, now it transfers to other types of things. And we've talked about this a lot of different ways. But this is the key in trying to succeed and be important when it comes to prospering. And that's what I call a long life. Longevity, I think if you live to 80, I've seen people live to 80 and they're miserable most of their life. And they just can't wait to come to the end. And a lot of times that's what happens to people. A lot of people tend to kind of give up. And because they give up, it's no coincidence that things start to hit them in a different way. And perhaps a lot of the stress and disease that we look at is caused a lot by people just kind of giving up and saying it's hopeless. Guys, and I believe this is the enemy. Defeatism, hopelessness, depression, all these things are meant to weaken you, my friends. They're meant to weaken you and lower your resistance to things, so that now you're focusing on different types of things that are important. And now you're not focusing on your own well-being. You're focusing on basically going into these addictions. And that creates a lot of problems. Health-wise, mental health, physical health, spiritual deficiencies, all these things occur because now we're addicted to things that we think are going to make us happy. We think money is going to make us happy. Well, we find out very quickly it doesn't make us happy. These are only material things. And you can't take these things with you. We think that having a new car or a new house is going to provide happiness. We think a new person around us is going to give us happiness. Never, never, ever put your happiness around some object or thing that you have, some material thing, because that's going to eventually go. The Bible says this too shall pass. So everything passes, guys. We move on. The only thing that stays with us is within the inner force within us, the vitality within us. And that's why it's so important to keep that. But you're going to hear society and all the messages out there telling you to get rid of your energy. Get rid of your energy. But guys, if you want to have a long, prosperous life, and I saw that with the priests in Tibet and different types of things I read about over the years, a lot of what they were talking about and keeping their energy and conserving it was because they had the energy inside of them. And no matter what mistakes you've made, I lived 58 years before, and having all kinds of problems with relapse and things like that. So I know. But the idea is that you want to get to the point of saying, look this is where I start today, right now. I start and saying that I'm going to live the rest of my years the most prosperous ways that I can, no matter how many years those are. And you're going to say, I'm going to go ahead and say, this is going to be a great life. I'm going to achieve things. I'm not going to go ahead and look at life the way I used to. I'm not living to chase women around. I'm not living to chase men around. If you're a woman, you're not living your life for anything that's material. You're living it to try to become the best person you can be, and really inside yourself get that peace you're looking for. And that's what I have found on this journey. I guess that's the thing that I want to really emphasize to you guys, that long life, a person has to have peace. And no matter what happens around me now, I know that this journey is leading me to more and more peace. I can see that. Calmness, being relaxed, not having to impress people, not having to go around and saying, okay, I'm going to beat you in some kind of competitive type of arena, things like that. All those type of things are not things that are important to me any longer. Yes, I have a lot of energy. Yes, I want to strive to achieve things, but that's not defining me. And I think you have to be kind of defined by this whole idea of the inner drive that comes from your journey. And if you're able to do that, then all of a sudden now you become a whole different person. And as we talk about this, that's the key to being successful, to being a whole different type of person that you were before. And that's what you're going to notice as you continue on this journey. You're no longer the person you were, chasing after girls and guys, things like that. You're a different person now. And it's an amazing type of thing to look at. But if you do it, and all of a sudden, now you sense, wow, this is a different world. You appreciate things more. I look at the trees, I look at the park. I'm going to the park right now. You're looking at this and saying, wow, this is nice. I've never really noticed the trees and things that like I had before. Guys, that's so important. But you don't notice that unless you're sitting there trying to change who you are. And I think that's important. All right, so enough of this one. Once again, living a long life means living a long, prosperous life. And prosper comes from control first, being able to figure out who you are, and moving towards that enlightened level that you're trying to get at. That's a lot more than what you see in front of you. Until next time, battle on, my warriors.